You ever see a deal that just makes you stop and think? We saw this Maui car rental. I think it was back on February 18th, 2024. Advertised at $25 a day.
25 bucks.
Right.
In Maui. Yeah, that definitely raises an eyebrow.
Right. Our first thought was, okay, what are you actually getting for that?
Yeah.
It just felt like there had to be, more to it.
For sure. Seems too good to be true on the surface.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to really dig into where your money goes when you rent a car there. We've got this document. It's called Maui Car Rental Taxes and Fees and hiddenfees.pdf.
Ah, okay. So it should give us a good breakdown.
Yeah, it breaks down this specific $25 offer, looks at what's included, what's not, and even touches on like general price trends. It's pretty detailed.
Interesting. So what's the first surprise? I bet that $25 isn't quite $25 for the car.
You are absolutely right. Okay, so they call it $25 a day, all in. Sounds straightforward.
The classic all in.
But yeah, when you actually look at the numbers, it's kind of astonishing. Only 5.76 cents. $5.76 of that $25 is for the actual car rental.
Wow. Less than $6.
Less than $6. The rest, $19.24, is just taxes and fees. $19.24.
That is a huge percentage. I mean, that tells you a lot about how these things are priced, doesn't it?
It really does. And the document lists them all out. It's quite a list.
Okay, let's hear it. Where does that $19 go?
All right, first up, a facilities fee. That's $6 flat rate.
Okay. Airport facility charge, probably. Common stuff.
Then mandatory liability insurance, $4 per day required.
Right, basic liability. Got it.
Then you've got taxes. General excise tax, it's 4.16%. Comes out to 66 cents.
Okay, 66%.
Then the Maui County tax, that's 0.546%, so just 9 cents.
Tiny one. Okay.
Then a vehicle licensing fee, $2 per day.
Right. Another per day fee.
And the last one, this is the big one, the state rental vehicle surcharge tax, $6.50 per day.
$6.50. Okay, that's a chunk.
Yeah, all that up. $6, $4, 66 cents, 9 cents, $2, $6.50, and boom, $19.24.
Wow. It's almost, 4 times the actual cost of the car rental itself, that $5.76?
Pretty much. It's kind of wild when you see it laid out like that.
Yeah, it really highlights how much goes to, not the car. It's supporting infrastructure, government revenue, mandatory coverages, the whole ecosystem around the rental.
So that's the all-in part. But what about the stuff that isn't included? The document calls these extras, not hidden fees, which is fair.
Right, the optional stuff, like additional insurance.
Exactly. First one is supplemental liability insurance, SLI. They mention you should check your own car insurance first. You might already have that coverage.
That's really important advice. So many people probably double pay for insurance they don't need.
Totally. Same thing for the collision damage waiver. The CDW covers damage to the rental car.
The waiver.
They point out, check your credit card benefits. Lots of cards offer CDW if you use them to pay for the rental.
Another great tip. Always check the card perks. Saves money.
And they're clear. If someone breaks into the car and steals your stuff, that's not on them unless you have, comprehensive coverage.
Right. That's usually personal property covered by homeowners or renters insurance, maybe. Not the car rental company.
Yeah, and roadside assistance. Forget it. Locked your keys in, got a flat, hit a pothole, and wrecked a tire. That $25 a day doesn't cover it.
So you're on your own for that?
Pretty much. They actually say you should probably have AAA.
Ha! Okay. Good to know.
And, of course, the gas. Return it full or they'll charge you a refueling fee, which is usually not cheap.
Never cheap. Always best to fill it up yourself nearby. So all in really just means the mandatory driving costs, not the potential extras or oopsies.
Yeah, exactly. It gets you the keys and the basic legal requirements, basically.
Okay, so let's go back to that $5.76. That tiny slice left for the actual rental company. What does that have to cover? It seems impossibly small.
I know, right? Well, the document gives us a peek into that, too. It lists things like salaries for their staff.
Makes sense. Got to pay people.
Benefits for those employees. Vehicle repairs, maintenance, keeping the cars running.
Obviously, fleet costs.
Utilities for their offices, operating expenses, the day-to-day running costs.
Sure, rent, electricity, all that.
State and federal income taxes. And get this, even interest on SBA loans from the pandemic fallout.
Oh, wow. So they're still paying off COVID-related debt with that small margin.
Apparently so. And they mentioned bonuses, but they put right after it.
Yeah, I can imagine bonuses might be tough to come by on $5.76 a day per car. That little Says a lot.
doesn't it? It sounds like that tiny amount is stretched incredibly thin.
It really does. It puts the whole business model in perspective. High volume, maybe relying on those optional extras for actual profit.
And they also mentioned the cost of damages,
Yeah.
when renters damage the cars.
Oh, yeah, that must be a huge one. Dents, scrapes, worse.
They use this funny word, nincompoop. Then they quickly say, you. Just kidding.
Sure, trying to keep it light, but yeah, renter damage has got to be a major unpredictable expense.
Totally. And then they need money set aside to actually buy new cars eventually, right?
Okay,
To
now.
refresh the fleet.
Of course, capital expenditure.
And for a rainy day fund,
Hmm.
which they add, it's been raining a lot lately.
Oof, yeah, I bet it has with tourism fluctuations and everything else. So that $5.76, it's covering debt, operations, repairs, and trying to save for the future and new cars. It's tight.
Razor thin, it sounds like. And remember, that doesn't even include the fuel the renter pays for or the cost of damage the renter might be charged for separately.
Right. Those are on top. So the base rate is really just covering the bare bones of providing the car and staying in business.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. The document also shared some pricing trends from their blog. Like, for the week of February 17th, 2024, around the time of that $25 deal.
Okay, what did general pricing look like then?
Well, a weekly rental, if you went off airport and took a shuttle, was about $227 total for the week.
$226. So that averages out to what, like $32 a day? Ish. Still pretty cheap.
Yeah, still low. But if you rented at the airport for that same week, $356.70.
Whoa. That's a big jump. Over $50 a day average.
Huge difference. Over $100 more for the week, just for the convenience of picking it up right at the airport.
Yeah, that tracks. Airport locations always have higher cost fees they pay to the airport. Prime real estate. Convenience has a price.
Definitely. And then they included some blog headlines from, more recently, April 2025. Shows how things change.
Oh, like what?
Well, there was one. Easter Bunny brings plummeting prices for Maui car rental.
Plummet. Okay, so prices dropped around Easter. Interesting.
But then, just the week before that, the headline was, Maui car rental prices mixed in advance of Easter 2025 holiday.
Mixed. So up and down, volatile.
And the week before that. Great deals on Maui rental cars in April 2025. So it seems as prices were kind of all over the map leading up to and around the holiday.
That sounds about right for rental cars. It's classic supply and demand, isn't it?
How so?
Well, peak season, holidays, everyone wants a car, demand goes up, so prices go up. Off season, or maybe sometimes right before a holiday, if they have too many cars, prices might dip to get them rented out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so trying to predict it is tricky. It depends on exactly when you book and how busy they expect to be.
Exactly. It's a dynamic market. Those headlines really paint a picture of that constant fluctuation.
So wrapping this all up,
Yeah.
it feels like the big takeaway is when you see a low advertised price for a rental car, especially somewhere like Maui,
Yeah.
a massive chunk of what you actually pay isn't really for the car at all. It's taxes, it's fees, it's surcharges.
Absolutely. That $25 example, with less than $6 going to the car, that says it all. The rest is the cost of doing business in that location, legally and operationally.
And that tiny bit left for the company, it has to cover everything: salaries, maintenance, repairs, debt, saving for new cars.
It really makes you appreciate the pressure these companies are under and maybe why they push those optional extras sometimes. It might be where the actual profit margin is.
Definitely. So here's a question for you listening. Knowing this breakdown now, this peek behind the curtain, does it change how you'll look at rental car prices? Not just in Maui, but like anywhere.
It's a good question. Does understanding the structure make you think differently about the value or maybe scrutinize the add-ons more carefully?
Yeah, or even wonder what other things that we buy, services or products, have a similar split, where the base cost is tiny compared to all the other stuff layered on top.
That's fascinating to consider. Concert tickets sometimes feel that way with all the fees. Maybe airline tickets, too, to some extent.
Right. It just shows that the price tag rarely tells the whole story. There's usually a complex system underneath.
Definitely. Being aware of these layers, the taxes, the fees, the operational costs, it makes you a more informed consumer, doesn't it? And maybe a bit more understanding of the challenges businesses face.
For sure. Definitely gives you food for thought next time you're clicking book on that rental car. There's always more going on than meets the eye.